Hello people, welcome to another video. This one is going to be a quick one as always, and in this one I'll be clarifying the rant about converting Canadian visit visa into work permit. This is going on these days, quite hot, and every little consultant is talking about the same issue or same topic in order to sell something to you. Now let me take a step back, how and why this started. Typically, as a general international norm, any country you're visiting as a visitor, you're not allowed to work. Sometimes people do work, but that is illegal. If you're caught, you will be deported and even blacklisted. In some cases, you might apply for asylum, for example, and in those cases, you can apply for a work permit. First of all, you'll apply for asylum status, then you will apply for work permit, and then you can start working. But typically, you are never allowed to work on a visitor's visa. So how this has started? In case of Canada, they launched this temporary policy during the COVID-19 pandemic, lockdowns, we had international travel restrictions. So I'm sure there might be thousands of people who were visiting Canada and these lockdowns started to happen. So in those times only Canadians announced a temporary policy to allow visitors to work. So maybe they have a reasonable source of income to support themselves and also support Canadian economy to fulfill labor shortages. This was temporary, as I said, but recently it was set to expire in sometime in Feb, and they extended it for next 2 years. So now this policy of temporary work permits had been extended until Feb 28 of 2025. Now here the fun begins. All of these consultants, they are selling services suddenly, and everybody's talking about landing into Canada as a visitor and then getting a work permit, and it's a happy ending. I've got these questions from my friends privately, and I'm sort of tired answering the same question again and again. Now this video is all about my take. Generally I look at things critically. So first of all, I would look at the source of information. So source we can verify, it goes to IRCC or the Canadian Immigration Authority. So the source is correct, but then who is spreading the news? The news, or whatever you call it, is being spread by the consultants or the agents who have the main source of income coming from the consultancy services they are providing to you guys or me, who are like dreamers, dreaming about Canadian immigration. They want to land into Canada by whatever it costs, right? So there's a clear conflict of interest. These guys have bread and butter coming from the fee that we will be paying, and they are selling a dream that just get a Canadian visitor visa and then you're good to go. So first of all, getting Canadian Canadian visitors visa is itself difficult for many nationalities, especially people from third world countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, right? It's very difficult. And even if you all right, so let me keep it for later. And secondly, in most of the YouTubers, TikTokers are also spreading the same stuff, mainly to get likes and subscribes, and that's purely garbage. Now, so let's talk about details. This thing has a specific criteria. So first of all, you should be having a valid visitor's visa and you must be present inside Canada. Then you will apply for the job. Maybe there is an employer who is willing to sponsor you. So in that case, you should have a valid job offer which is supported by LIMIA or Labor Market Impact Assessment. It should be positive, unless you are getting a job offer that relates to LIMIA exempt NOC code. And by the way, in general, LIMIA requires employers do have certain criteria such as total revenue, number of employees, and he should be able to tell why he is not able to find Canadian citizen, or why he is unable to find a person already residing in Canada with a valid work permit. So why you need this Mr. X to be imported, to be given a work permit who is visiting Canada on a tourist visa. Right, so it's a process, and let me tell you this: many employers don't like to go into LIMIA process. It's costly, it takes time, and it's a PITA. Look up what it means. Then, whatever permission you will get employer specific work permit. So it's not like you get a general open work permit. You can change your job anytime you want. No, it's not that. It's very specific to the employer who's sponsoring you. It is something to kafala system that we have in the Arab world, and all the expatriates here hated, and we curse Arabs for having this kind of kafala system. And you can look at this. These Westerners, they have the same thing. All right, so suddenly human rights and whatever go to under the bus. All right, and then as a candidate, there's a saying. I mean, there's a paragraph. If you go to IRCC website, the paragraph reads, "You must meet standard criteria." And what the heck is the standard criteria? Nobody talks about it. Nobody knows. I did a bit of googling here and there, tried to look up this information on IRCC website. I can't find what exactly it means. So it's a broad term. You know, it can be subjective, subject to the officer's judgment. He can deny or accept. Nobody knows why and who. And now the important thing. So let's say there's a Mr. X. He visited Canada as a visitor, managed to get employer, managed to get a positive limia. Then he gets the work permit, which is going to be valid until 28th of February 2025. Then what happens? Then either he decides to go back to his country, or he applies under the CEC or PNP program or FSW program. So this is temporary. It does not mean you have a permanent status. Now, okay, people can argue you have a higher chance of being selected once you are applying in CEC with 2 or some years of Canadian experience. That's fine, but you know, it's subjective. So now, again, I'm not trying to discourage anyone. You can just go on, do whatever you want. You can pay anybody you like to pay as a consultant. Typically, these consultants sell dreams, encourage you to sign a contract, which is like $10,000, $5,000, take some advance fee, typically 50%, at least 30-25%, and then, you know, make you run away behind them to get you know, the updates. And then in my opinion, everything is subjective. So if you have nothing to lose in your home country, you're like jobless, doing a shit job, fine, go for it, give it a try. Maybe you'll have a same shitty life in Canada. But if you are a person, a professional who is well settled in your home country or in Middle East, for example, so again, decide based on what you're going to lose and what you will be gaining. Is this all hassle, which is temporary, is it worth it? If you think it is worth for you, then go for it. So it is very subjective, individual to individual. So I hope this helps, and thanks for watching, and please stay away from bullshit dream sellers. Bye.